hungry. But instead of whipping up a meal, all you have to do is enter your menu choices into a computer and your dinner appears before you. So magical. It may seem like science fiction, but it isn't. Well, not completely. The future is now, my friends. Is 3D printed food in your future? And what does it have to do with an eye wash cup? Astronauts, Columbia University, and lasers. Stay tuned as we chew on all the possibilities. In the last few years, 3D printing has become mainstream. But making food this way is still in its early stages. It might seem like a new process, but the origin of 3D printing goes back to the early 1980s. In 1983, researchers produced the first item using a 3D printer. What was that groundbreaking new product? An eye wash cup. Today, the process is used to create toys, prosthetics, and automotive parts. You can even have one at home. But how did this technology move into the kitchen? In 2006, NASA began researching 3D printed food as it wanted to create pizzas for astronauts. NASA wasn't the only one interested in printing food. In 2007, researchers at Columbia University's Creative Machines Lab produced the Fab at Home personal fabrication system, which could create edible objects using cake frosting, chocolate, processed cheese, and peanut butter. The first bakery making 3D printed goods opened in 2011. Using a standard 3D printer, Sugar Labs produces such intricate candies that it markets them as ornaments. By 2014, food-specific 3D printers were being created and marketed to restaurants as a means of producing intricately designed meals. Genius idea. But the food still had to be cooked in traditional ways. Recently, the researchers at the Creative Machines Lab have been searching for ways of cooking food as it's being printed. Their solution is lasers. Adding lasers to a 3D printer allows them to print and cook the food in the same machine. But how does it taste? Well, the laser-cooked 3D printed chicken was twice as juicy as conventionally cooked chicken. It also didn't shrink as much. And, most importantly, it tasted like regular chicken. Meat isn't the only thing 3D printing could revolutionize. Israeli company Redefine Meat is using 3D printing to create plant-based meat. These alt steaks, as they are called, have more fiber and less fat than traditional steaks. And they have the same amount of protein, but no cholesterol. All right, where can I get one? And printing our food could help fight food waste. Netherlands-based Uprising Foods wants to turn discarded food into edible printing material. If you want to experience 3D printed food, you could visit Food Inc. in the UK. This restaurant touts itself as a one-of-a-kind gourmet experience where all the food, utensils, and furniture are produced through 3D printing. A Japanese company has created a standardized cube form of food using 3D printers, much like the food eaten by Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock on the Starship Enterprise.
Well, not bad.
Plans are underway for a sushi restaurant using these edible cubic printouts. So, could 3D printed food become our food of the future? Only time will tell, my friends. But the increasing availability of consumer printers could make 3D printed food more common. And if 3D printed food doesn't become our food of choice, perhaps crickets will be the food of our futures. Or maybe it'll be food printed using cricket paste. We'll explore that on another episode of Origins of Food.